All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the this Friday night edition of our live tutorial. And it is not my intention to keep you long tonight. I know it's Friday night, and I just want to go over a few things in general. And it is my desire to finish all of these by Monday. So, excuse me. I'll probably do one tomorrow night. I'll probably do one Sunday at some point. And if you can't make it, please do not fret, right? They are all recorded. I'm going to give you the place where I know you can find it. Hello, Sam. And you can always find the GMP tutorials either in the back office or you can find them on my channel. They're always going to be available on my channel, right? And they'll be there probably pretty fast. And so what I'm doing is working through your questions, and I'm working with our programmers in real time. And in addition to that, what I'd like to do is to make sure that you have an understanding of how this is going to work. Now, once again, I want to remind you that upcoming is that I'm going to be doing what's called Launchpad 2016. And Launchpad 2016 is going to be where we're going to help you to create your own product. And we are actually going to use it in such a way that we're going to be using GMP to do it, right? So anybody's going to be welcome. The calls are going to be free. They're going to be available to my entire community. They're going to be available to your entire community. If you want to do that, to invite them. But the idea is that we're going to be using GMP, and we're going to be using GMP tools. We're going to be using GMP autoresponder, and we're going to use GMP in order to create your product. And the idea is for you to get your product up and running probably before the holidays, right? Before the holidays, all right? So that's the idea behind Launchpad. Okay, so now I'm going to show you something very brief with GMP, and let's kind of go there. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and if you just let me know you can see my screen, that'll be fantastic. Okay, so if you can see my screen, if you put the number 1 in the question box, just like that, I'm going to get into Genius Marketing Pro. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sam. Okay, now we have over the last couple of days, we've created products. We've created an opt-in page. Yesterday, I talked about I talked about using the opt-in page to put at the front of your funnel. And I want to cover that in particular. And I know there was one more thing that I said I was gonna lead off with, and it is escaping me right now. So if you are here, and I think it was Kenny that had a question, and I don't know, Kenny, if you're here, if you could just type that question in again, I will make sure to cover it tonight. I have something brief I'm going to cover here in this call, and what I want to do is we want to talk about. In particular, from a marketing perspective, what you would do in order to get people into your product funnel, right? Because obviously what you want to have is, and I want to go into the funnels briefly, and let's kind of take a look at the funnels. And this is not a marketing call. I try to focus on tech issues for the most part. Dwayne primarily talks about the Okay, so Sharon, can you not hear me? Okay, can everybody hear me? If you can hear me, put the number 2 in the question box. Okay, just put the number 2 in the question box if you can hear me. If you cannot, 1 if you cannot. I think I should be able I think you should be able to have, so some of you have audio. Okay, good. Okay, so now you've got this funnel, right? You've got the funnel. And so let's take a look at the funnel, right? Let's take a look at the funnel, and let's take a look at managing the funnel, right? Okay, now the idea of having a funnel is going to be that you are going to have this spot as your front end product, right? So this is where your funnel starts. If you're going to have an upsell, that's going to be the product that you're going to place here. You're going to have a downsell. That's where the product you're going to be placing here. Both of these products need to be and have GMP payment links in order to connect to GMP. Now, of course, you can use a paging system for whatever system you like. But if you want to operate the funnel so that as soon as a buyer decides on the first offer, if you want them to be taken to this offer and then a downsell after that, and you want that to happen automatically, right, you will need to make sure that each of these products that you have in these spots have GMP payment links. Okay, so if that makes sense to you, right? If that makes sense to you, please put the number 3 in the question box. 3 if that makes sense. Right? And then once you, and while you do that, then I'll just kind of prepare to move on. Okay, so what you'll need to do then is you'll need to make sure that you connect this spot, the product here, to your opt-in. Right? And we talked about that briefly last night, because the logic is that you have attracted somebody into your marketing funnel and you have gotten them to put their name and email address in, but you need to show them an offer, right? In order for that to make sense. So that, let's kind of go back here. And I'm going to go backwards through this process. Right now, here's the thing. You can have an opt-in page any place, right? But the easiest thing to do is to have that page created with Genius Marketing Pro and to use the autoresponder, right? And so in order to do your job properly, you're going to have to do some pre-selling. Now, I'm not going to talk about pre-selling in this video, but you are going to have to pre-sell people in order to get them to opt in. And if there's one thing that I had to learn as a marketer, and you may have already learned this lesson, and I really want you to hear me on this, is that just because you have an opt-in page doesn't mean people are going to opt in. Just because you have a free report doesn't mean people are going to opt in. Just because you have something cool doesn't mean people are going to opt in. And you have to sell the opt-in just like you would sell a product. Okay, and that was really revolutionary for me. I don't know if it is for you. You have to use copywriting, and you have to literally put as much energy into getting people to opt in as you would getting them to buy. Getting an opt-in is not supposed to be easy. You were in competition with a lot of people. So as you create this, I'm going to start creating an opt-in page here. Okay, so I'm going to click create a page. And what I want you to keep in mind from a marketing perspective is that what you put in this box, you have to sell it, right? One of the reasons why, we have, a video opt-in, I'm going to put this in here now, is because, first of all, you want to make sure that your headline, your headline does sell people. You want to make sure your subline sells people. You want to make sure that your post subline sells people. And if you're going to use an opt-in video, that you actually get people to opt in, right? With the video that you're making, that you're on the fact that they need to opt into your list. Right? Okay, now I'm not going to pontificate on that anymore. I think you get the idea. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually take some of this out. Okay, so I want that opt-in button out. I'm going to save this page. I'm going to save this as opt-in page practice. Okay, and David raises this point that he has a service that he wants to sell and doesn't necessarily work for that model of selling. Okay, yeah, and that is going to be, that's generally going to be the case if you have a service. I get that. But at some point though, even if you have a service, and if I understand you right, David, I think that even still, even if you are giving people information at the point at which they come to your opt-in page, they're going to have to be convinced in order to get the information that you have. And so it might not be a hard sell. It still needs to be a sales job to get that information that you're promising them in order to get them to opt in. But I understand your point. If I'm understanding your perspective on this. Okay, so now of course what you're going to do here is you are going to put you're going to put an opt-in in here of some kind. You can use the drag and drop opt-in, if you want. Right? You can use the drag and drop opt-in. And of course, now here's the more important part, what we're going to be doing right now is, if you recall, what we talked about here is we are going to use the GMP autoresponder. And you're going to go and get a form ID from one of your campaigns and one of the opt-in forms that you've created. Now, what's going to be important here is that number one is you need to do two things when people come to this page. You need to make sure, you want to make sure that number one, you get the opt-in, right? And you want to make sure that number two, you send them to the first point on your sales page. So this redirect URL, right? This redirect URL should be to your sales page, right? Because you may or may not get another shot. Now, again, there are different schools of thought on that, but I'm going to suggest that this is where you want to send people to the first point on your funnel, right? So when you create a sales page inside of GMP and you put that sales page in your funnel, that sales page needs to be in this redirect URL when they actually sign up. So whether or not you get the opt-in or not, they're still going to see your sales page. That's basically what's going to happen, right? Now, the form ID is going to put them into your autoresponder. The redirect URL is going to send them to that first point in your marketing funnel, right? So now if that makes sense to you, I want you to put the number 4 in the question box. Number 4, if that makes sense. Right? If that makes sense to you so far, please put the number 4 in the question box. Okay, great. And so I'm not gonna go through this whole process. We've gone through that in previous videos, but this is how you connect that opt-in page into your marketing funnel. Now, here's the thing. In some cases, and I'm not going to cover this tonight. I'm going to cover this probably on Monday. The Monday is where we're going to cover your affiliate relationships. And that's probably going to be the most important aspect of this, because you are going to have some points at which you're going to want to have affiliates to send you traffic. And so you either want to have them send them to a webinar, or you want to have them cookied so that your affiliates get credit. That's right, Kenny. And again, I'm going to say that this is what I would do because there's still no guarantee that even if they opt in, that they'll ever get to that sales page. I mean, you can actually choose not to do that. You do have the choice, and there are different schools of thought on that. Right? I'm going to suggest that you need to show them an offer as soon as possible, because at some point you're going to have to ask them to buy something, right? And so they may opt in, and if they really want what it is you have to offer, yes, they'll turn down the sales page, but they'll go back to get the opt-in anyway, right? If they choose not to, then more than likely they were not going to buy from you. That's just my thought on that. That is exactly right, Kenny. The redirect is not dependent upon them putting in their email. That's going to happen right away. That's going to happen when they put their name and email address there in the box. Okay, where we determine what's going to happen after the confirmation, we determine that let's see, here's where we determine that. It's my opt-in page. Yes, it's my opt-in forms. Actually, what I want is my opt-in forms. Not edit forms, let's see. Okay, now where I'm gonna want to make sure that when I create a form, okay, yep, I'll get right with you on that, David. Okay, so here's the confirmation URL, right? And so we can change this to be what we want it to be, right inside our form or our campaign. Let's see. And William is asking, do we have an API key for the autoresponder? There is an API. If you want us to work with a specific autoresponder, William, send that to me in my email, and I'll pass that over to our tech team. Okay, so David, what you want to do is to provide a link in your Facebook ad to your landing page, and then have them opt in. What you're going to do is you're just going to create create a page here. And then you're going to save it. And then I'm going to go back to my pages. And I'm actually going to get this URL. And you're going to link out to this one. Now, obviously, you're going to take out the deal with the phone number, and you might even take out the name, and then you're going to alter this some, but this is the URL you're going to actually put into your Facebook ad. Or if you want to use a custom domain, you can do that. Right? So then once they download, once they get hit the submit button, right, then you take them to a thank you page in order for them to get the opt-in. Right? So let's kind of go back and edit this page. And what's going to happen is, okay, this form ID is going to be connected to a campaign. Look at the campaign for a second here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to edit this campaign. Now, all of the opt-in forms on this campaign, they're going to go to a specific subscription confirmation URL, right? So when the person confirms, you're going to send them to wherever this URL is. And this is what you're going to determine when they actually hit the confirm link. It's going to send them there. Right? But now if you want to have control over what happens once they put their name and email address in, you sort of want to have the option of having them redirected at that moment. And I would suggest that you have them sent to a sales page. Okay, any questions on that? So does everybody understand the two places where you're going to send people? One, after they put their name and email address in. Two, after they can understand both the difference between both places to send people at different times. I want you to put the number 5 in the question box, if you understand that. Okay, so what would you put on the sales page? Or if you're asking what would you put in the sales page, David? See, because if you're going to send them to the opt-in, right? Your funnel would end then, David, at the point at which they come to the thank you page. So you wouldn't even have a sales page really, unless you're going to just start selling. So at the point that you get them to a thank you page, maybe on your thank you page, what you're going to do is give them the opportunity to get a free 15-minute consultation with you. But your funnel, in effect, would end once they got to a thank you page. A lot of the at this point, yeah, I understand that a lot of gurus are saying not to do double opt-in. It has been it is at this point, right? We're really trying to protect the asset for everyone, and because not everyone is going to be as principled as you are, Madaya. You know, it's one of those things where at this point we're being a little conservative when it comes to using the double opt-in, so that again we protect the asset for everyone, you know, going forward. Right now we probably have about we're not only are we not blacklisted, our deliverability is probably someplace close to 99 to 100%. Yeah, David, I would send them to a thank you page, and then that's over, right? I would say you don't want to send them to a sales page at that point, because your goal as a consultant, right? Your goal as a consultant is to get them into a conversation. So I might have on my thank you page a video introducing myself to them. I'm David. I do mobile. I do mobile marketing. I can help you, and then so on and so forth. I mean, you know what the deal is, David. I know I'm preaching to the choir. So, all right. Let's see. It could. I have not found that to be the case. And in some cases, right, what it does require, it requires us to be a little better at making sure we get people in. But yeah, I mean, you're going to have some fall off. There's no doubt about that. But your ability to get people deliverability, right? You're going to have more people at the top end, and you're going to have more people that are going to be getting your emails, because again, the longer that you have something that you can't get people to, um, you know, 2 or 3 points on deliverability is pretty high. And we've got that right now. Okay. Yeah, no, great question, Kenny. Let's see. Let's see. Let me go back to Genius Marketing Pro here. Where am I? Let me get back to Genius Marketing Pro. And I'm going to get back to the dashboard. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to go back to the page where we're creating the actual opt-in. And I'm going to go to the opt-in page. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up this opt-in data. Now, okay, Kenny, this is a redirect, right? So this doesn't really even depend on anything, right? So this is not going to depend on, it's not going to depend on what the customer does other than putting their name, email address in there, because it's just going to redirect them to another page. Right now, the confirmation is where you're going to deliver the information, right? So as soon as they go through the process, they put their name and email address in there, they hit the button, that button is going to take them now to the redirect, whether they opt in or not. So all you're really doing is sending them someplace else, right? They put their name and email address in, they just get sent someplace. It doesn't, now when they confirm, you can send them to someplace entirely different, because they got to go back to their email box and take a look, and then they see it, they say, oh, this is this thing I wanted. They click on it, they become part of your list, and then as soon as they click that button, right, they get sent someplace, and they're going to actually, that's where you should really be directing them to what you promised them, right? Okay, so David, in your case, you would put the link to their download on your thank you page, right? So it would be right under your video. So it would be on your thank you page, and you'd say, hey, look below here. Hi, I'm David, so on and so forth. And then right below here, this is where you get the whatever it is you promised them, right? The special report or whatever it is that you're going to be doing, right? So that download link, David, for you would be on your thank you page. They do, yes. They have to put their name and email address in to be redirected to the confirmation. Right? So the form's not going to do anything until they put their name and email address in there. That is correct, Kenny. Right? Great question. Okay. All right, guys. It's about 9:36, and I thought, how about I let you get out a little early today? So it's about nine. We're about at 30 minutes. That's right, William. My suggestion is the sales page, and that comes from Russell Brunson. If you read .com Secrets, he suggests that you show people an offer as soon as possible. Yeah, I'm going to be doing DFY funnels this weekend, Sam. Yep, either tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah. Now, just so you'll know, when you email my support, it could go. Sometimes I see these, and sometimes I see them immediately, and I'll answer them. Sometimes they go to my daughter, and in that case, they're going to be a day removed. Right. So sometimes if she's not there, I'll answer him. I'll answer my support right away. But in most cases, she's going to get it. It's probably going to be a day before I see it. So just so you'll be aware, I don't want anybody to think I'm ignoring them, but it does go to my support. Okay. Yeah. My daughter answers my support. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So dynamic funneling and share codes. Right. Okay. Great question. Okay. So when you have GMP will allow you to sell a product, right? So, and you can use the paging system, and you can sell a product. Now, here's what dynamic funneling is, and the reason that it's called dynamic funneling, right? It's not just a sales term, right? Dynamic funneling. I'm going to go to my funnels here. Excuse me. Okay, so what is dynamic funneling? Right? Dynamic funneling means that it's conditioned and it's going to change for every buyer. Right? It's going to be different every time somebody comes through there. So it's not a static funnel. It's dynamic based on what you do. So let's say that I'm going to, most of you know I sell PLR, right? And I don't do a lot of this, but I could. So let's say that you buy the front end PLR offer, and some PLR sellers will sell you an ebook, right? And they'll sell you an ebook and sales materials. And then they'll say, if you want a second course and you want videos, we'll give you, you can pay an extra $17. And then they'll say, well, okay, and you decide, nah, a little too rich for my blood. I just want the ebook anyway. So what happens is automatically, right? Well, the first thing to tell you is, as soon as you buy this, right, you get sent to this offer. So as soon as you put your PayPal information in, you say, okay, I'm going to buy it. It's done. And then you get sent to this offer. That's right, Kenny. So then you say, well, no, I don't want that part of the PLR offer. I don't need another second course and other stuff. So what happens is you say, no thanks. You click the no thanks link. What happens is you then get sent to this offer, where you get sent to an offer that says, well, maybe you didn't want a second course, but maybe you did want the video course that was connected to the ebook that you bought. And you're like, oh, okay, well, man, yeah, maybe I like that. And you say, yeah, I'll buy that. And then what happens is, after you buy that, you can then send your buyers to your membership. And you might say, well, hey, you know what? You liked the video course. Maybe then you might like our video course membership. Right. And then you say, no, I don't want a video course membership. And then, well, you could. Now, I'm not saying you have to. Then what happens is down here, you say, well, you didn't want the video course membership, but maybe you did want an additional video course. Right. So all this would be different, right, based on what you decided. Right. If you decided you wanted this one, then you get sent to another offer up here. And these two offers don't have to be the same thing. Right. This is a marketing decision up here. Right. It's all a business decision as to what you put up here. And once again, I'm going to suggest that you do a real thorough reading of .com secrets. Right, about what you put here. Right, once you read that book, you'll start to understand what you need to put here. You'll also understand who you want to buy your stuff, because I know, because most of us think we want everybody to buy. We don't. Right, and the truth of the matter is, and I didn't get this until I read Russell Brunson, that you don't want everybody to buy. Who do I want to buy this product? Let me ask you a question. We're done right now. So if you're looking for more GMP and you're kind of looking to kick off, we're just going to talk right now. So so I'm kind of done with the GMP part, but we'll talk about a little bit of marketing for 3 minutes. Okay. So who do you want to buy this front end? Let's just talk about this for a second. Who do you want everybody to buy this? Any and everybody? Who do you want to buy this? Okay, anybody can answer. What do you think? What's your answer to that question? Now, so if you're watching by archive again, I'm done with the instruction. We're just going to spend 3 minutes talking a little marketing, and then we'll kick off at 9:45. So those of you who are on the call, what do you think? Okay, everybody. Is that okay? So Kenny says everybody. You want everybody to buy this. And I would say, right. Okay. So what you really want on this front end purchase is you are filtering people. What you want are people who are going to do this. Go up the ladder. Right? You're trying to find your ideal buyer with this product. Okay, every product you sell is a search for your ideal buyer. It's not just to get sales, right? That's not the only idea. Yes, you want as many people to buy it as possible, but you want as many of your ideal buyer. And what you want is people who are going to buy up this chain. Well, see, no, it's not just opt-ins, Kenny, because opt-ins don't pay you. Exactly, Mudaya. That's where I'm coming from, and really, that's what. How many of you all have read the book Ask? I think I've mentioned that book. If you have not read that, I suggest you read that book too, because when you ask people survey questions and you ask people and you try to get people to buy certain things, you're trying to find your ideal buyer so that they will keep buying. Right. So that's really the idea behind this. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so it's so all of this stuff matters. Right. And funneling means that. Right. So if I get you as a buyer, let's and we'll end on this. Let's end on this. And here's the importance of having a funnel that sends people to an offer right after. If I do not buy your upsell and your second upsell, what's going to happen? Right? What's going to happen? If I had the money to spend and I don't spend it with you, what's going to happen? Who am I going to spend the money with? I'm going to spend it with somebody else. That's the point. I'm probably going to spend that money anyway. I'm probably going to spend that money on either internet marketing or whatever your niche is. And so right, exactly, William. And so if you do not funnel, that means what you did was, even though you went for the sale and you were happy with it, you did not you left money on the table, right? You left money on the table that I would have been willing to spend with you, right? True. I would have been willing to spend that money with you if you had found a relevant offer to show to me after I bought your initial offer. So now let's go back to what I said here at the beginning. What you're trying to do with selling a product is not just sell to anybody and everybody, right? You do that with multiple products, not with one. With one product, you're trying to find your ideal buyer so that they'll buy from you up the chain. Right? Yep. Absolutely. Okay, everybody. So that was just that was just me talking. You need to be flexible in how you present the upsells, because Gary, because what some marketers do, right? What some marketers do is, let's say that you decide to go the upsell and then you see a second upsell. Well, I don't know how many of y'all you all know Edmund Lowe. Edmund Lowe, I think he's a PLR seller. What Edmund Lowe says is that regardless of whether or not you take, he's going to show you this offer whether you take the upsell or downsell, right? And now that's his philosophy. So if you take the upsell, you decide not to take the upsell, he's still going to show you the second upsell in this spot, whether you take the upsell or the downsell. If you decide not to take that upsell, he's still going to show you the third upsell, right? So he's got three upsells. And so all customers, and this is his philosophy, but dynamic funneling allows you to do that, right? So he says, show everybody all three offers. And so you fit them into the dynamic funneling system. Okay, right. Yes, again, Kenny, yes and no. Right? You're looking, the product itself is going to filter out people, right? Because not everybody is going to, if you sell a product on CPA marketing, not everybody is going to be interested in it. So you filter out people with that product regardless. So now I have a universe of people who are interested in CPA marketing, and I make an offer to them, right? So I've already filtered out a number of people. So now what I'm trying to do up the chain is I'm trying to find out, is this person really interested in CPA marketing? Do they need instruction? That might be the first upsell. Do they need tools to do CPA marketing? That might be the second upsell, right? And so my ideal buyer might be a person who I want to have in a CPA mastermind, right? That's my desire. I want to get people into my CPA mastermind paying me $27 a month, right? Exactly. So the opt-in might filter them out. The sale filters them out, because a person who opts in and a person who buys are often two different people. So you have to start by finding out who's willing to spend money, right? And so the first sale is actually a better filter once you get the opt-in. You've got to send, and that's why you send them to the offer right away. Well, you send them to the offer right away because you need to find out if they're just kicking the tires, and they're going to be on your list for years and years and years, and you're going to write all these emails and they're not going to buy anything, or they're ready to buy something, ready to take action. They're ready to get going on something. So you send them an offer. And if you never send them an offer, right, as soon as possible, you never find out. And so the thing that, in my opinion, now this is just Charles talking. This is just Charles talking. I think that the filter ultimately is the buyer. Exactly, Kenny. That again. Now this is this is Charles Harper talking, and Dwayne Senior has a totally different perspective on this, right? That's my perspective. I mean, as a PLR and information product seller. Now, Dwayne comes from the universe of MLM. He also comes from the universe of corporate sales. So his perspective, and you need to get his perspective on this because he's got a totally different perspective, right? His perspective on this is totally different. I know he's going to be doing some training on that on Monday. So make sure you're on the sales call on Monday. That's where Dwayne talks about marketing and sales. But I'm an information product seller, and so I have a really I've developed my perspective on this over 7 years. You're welcome, Kenny. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, everybody. Well, it's about 9:52, and we are going to get out of here. So thank you very much for being here. Have a great night and a pleasant weekend. Take care.